Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at GALA, seeing what's going on. I got not only a lot of requests for this coin, but also been monitoring it pretty closely in the back end. And there's some really stark realities we want to go ahead and touch on and make sure that you understand, big picture, what could happen next with this coin. So we're going to kind of look at the larger time frame and help understand where we're at with that. And these trend lines here, by the way, are just previous closures, both on the daily and the weekly. These are key level resistances at this point since we're down below that level. Okay, so keep that in mind. And if you're new to the channel, I love to teach people to trade. Thanks again so much for joining me here. Hope you can learn something here today. We do have a trading academy community and signals group for my premium package. Just know we're taking some healthy profits there. Blue Zell was our biggest trade last week, 163% in 9 days. This is only 5x leverage, by the way. And here today, we took 10% from Maker as a short and a long from ICP. Those trades are still open. We got some awesome stuff going on too with comp as well. I covered all that stuff yesterday. You can go ahead and jump on over to my Twitter or Telegram. Links all down below if you're kind of curious how those coins are behaving and what potential playout charts might look like for those. It's all available for you there. But what I want to talk about here today is, well, the elephant in the room, for lack of better terms. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about this here. So on the weekly, this is kind of the important thing I want you guys to recognize. Now, these aren't guarantees, but these are playouts that are forming, but also have I guess they're already kind of confirmed themselves. In other words, we got this double bottom. Okay, we got double bottom here where the price action hit almost the same exact level. It's not exact because again, these weeks as the time progresses, it continues to go lower and lower. But we're hitting this overextended state. Okay, so we got a double bottom here. We've also got a falling wedge. Now, a falling wedge pattern that could continue a little bit lower, but not much lower. We're nearing the bottom. But also the thing to recognize too is with these patterns here, we got the double bottom pattern. You take a look at the RSI. The last time the RSI was really low, which is at its lowest point here on the weekly, keep in mind, at 32, the price bottomed out. Okay, we just hit 32 as well again last week, and it bottomed out there too. So to me, seeing these types of signs, if you will, leads me to believe this could be the bottom. I don't think we're going to see 2 or 3 weeks worth of monstrous behavior here because that's, in January, Bitcoin recovered very well. So you got to keep in mind that a lot of this is due from Bitcoin correcting itself back from 16,000 to somewhere in the range of almost 30,000. Okay, so you got to recognize that's kind of the case, but it doesn't mean that it couldn't still increase from here and likely to come up and retest some of these highs here. Okay, or the more recent lows rather. So again, that's kind of what we're looking at there. That's why I'm kind of excited about this here on the weekly. But let's see if we have confirmation on any other time frame too, right? We want to recognize that, just because you have a weekly or a monthly, convergence, for example, that shift in momentum doesn't mean it's going to continue or happen right away. Let's see if there's any kind of signs here. So first of all, we can look at the RSI. Anytime the price, the RSI has come down to 30, we can see a gradual recovery from there, okay? So gradual recovery every time the price hits 30, with the exception of this most recent time it went sideways here. But for the most part, when you hit 30 on the RSI, price action will continue to increase. So that's step number one, basically, is just acknowledging the fact that we are overextended or oversold in this regard. Okay, so we're currently oversold. Yes, the price is coming up closer to 50, but it's still very much oversold based on the recent price action. That said, let's go ahead and take a look at some moving averages and see. We have broken officially above, well, okay, not officially, sorry, I take that back. We still got 6 hours left in this daily candle, but granted we close above that 20-day SMA, that would be a first step in the right direction to establish potential higher high or a higher low. Again, smaller time frames we can identify this, but if we see here, we're above the 20-day SMA. Okay? It is important to note that we're below a lot of other moving averages, and those well work as resistance levels. Okay? So it does not mean price is just going to shoot to the moon here tomorrow, but it just means it's probably the beginning of a continuation, right? There's a good chance of that. Okay, so the daily looks fairly decent. Again, we're still bearish in most regards, because honestly, if we take a look at the RSI, being below 50, that's going to be working as a resistance level. So we want to be above 50 here to be able to have any kind of improvement. But we can see the money flow index is higher than it has been the last couple of weeks. Okay, so as the money flow index goes up, so does the price. Okay. This concurrent with the fact that Bitcoin dominance is coming down. I covered this in my Bitcoin video earlier today, and the price of Bitcoin is stabilizing / coming down. That does imply that altcoins will surge or potentially surge. Okay, so keep this in mind. You take a look at this little cheat sheet here. Bitcoin dominance is down, and the price of Bitcoin is going stable or down. We're seeing up or stable action from altcoins, which is a lot of the reason why we're probably seeing some money flowing into this coin. Okay? Again, not a guarantee, but these are all little things that kind of add up over time. So we're seeing this natural correction here right now with GALA. And if we take a look quickly, actually, hold on, let me see. Yeah, take a look quickly here. We can identify that the price of Bitcoin is also coming down too. So GALA, while it does want to increase concurrent with Bitcoin, it's also doing its own thing within reason. Okay, again, a lot of times these coins can be like that. So yeah, that's basically what we're looking at there for the 4-hour time frame. Let's look at a couple of other key factors I think that are important. We're up over 70 on the RSI, coming back down. So jumping in right now may not be the most appropriate entry. We may want to wait until it comes down closer to 50 to get that bounce. We also want to identify a few other things here too, so such as the most recent high. Where are we at in regard to that? Okay? So we came up to retest that level. This very well could be the beginning of a cup and handle pattern where the price pulls back to the most recent high. Now again, the most recent high is right here in this range, so if we kind of draw out a trend line, we can kind of see, the price action could come down as low as that. Right? So let's pull up some fibs here and see where our 0.5 is on Fibonacci. We can kind of see here that there's a few key levels that we want to pay attention to. Okay? So for example, when a price shoots up like it has here recently, okay? Because again, the price was pretty darn low a little while ago. So it went up about 15% from bottom to top within the last 24 to 40 hours. That being said, the price comes all the way up to this highest point here, rejects off the most recent high, continues on its way down. So where's the bouncing point? Well, the bouncing point's in one of two areas. It's either the most recent high, that's a likely area in which the price could bounce, and the secondary place, which to me is more likely, is the halfway point, the 0.5. So we're going to see the price come up here, come down to 0.5, and continue higher. We could see some Elliott wave here as well, kind of implying that 0.5 is the likely area, which we are seeing here with that confirmation. So to me, a good entry would be somewhere in the, what is it, that'd be 1.4? 1.4 cents is a very close approximate. I think that'd be a good entry target there. Okay, so I'm going to set an alert here just above that level to make sure I pay attention to it and get alerted later to potentially jump on there for long. Now again, there might be a decent shorting opportunity at that point too. Don't get me wrong, you can't just set an alert and blindly jump on in. But to me, this feels like that little pullback to that area, that range of 0.382 to 0.618 would be a solid little area to consider jumping on. Now keep in mind, I do send out playout charts, of course, daily for my Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Those are all available where you can kind of see potential playouts. So I'll have this listed up here as well. So just make sure to pay attention to that. But for the most part, I'm going to highlight and reflect these things here because these are obvious things we want to kind of pay attention to. Okay. Last thing, but not least, would be the hourly. We just want to quickly note where we're at on TD sequential. For one, we are overextended, working our way down. We're about 1 hour into a potential of 8 hours continuation of the downside, which it does imply that this 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, that basically 1.4 cents, it could very well be a likely target. Furthermore, with each Ichimoku cloud, we can kind of see that we are trending above the cloud, but we're starting to lose that momentum as the conversion line is starting to drop. So in truth, if you have a long position open right now, it would be best to leave it open and not consider closing it. But you might want to maybe consider taking some profit and potentially adding to your position as the price comes down. Again, there's different strategies, different scenarios there. To me, I like to have multiple entry targets and multiple profit targets. It's just kind of how we structure our trades. For example, if we go to our most recent trade here, let's go ahead and pull up here. This is our maker short, for example. We had 3 entry targets and 5 take profit targets. Okay? So we've hit one of the targets, of course, but the trade still remains open. We took a majority of our profits in that first trade. Okay, so again, different ways you can do it, but those are ways that I stay fit in this market, if you will, and I can continue to maintain a healthy portfolio that's growing, right? Again, that's the whole point of this, is to not get wrecked. And if you've been using 20, 30, 40x leverage, you're probably doing it wrong. Don't get wrong, you can do very well at that level, but your margin for error is dramatically increased. So unless you are specifically finding the best entries possible, you're going to have a lot more losses than wins. And to me, I'd much rather small continuous wins that add up over time than a monstrous one trade to get me in and out of the market, right? That's just me personally. So if you want that for yourself, cryptocash.tech is a site link down below. You can follow my automated trades through Cornix. And keep in mind too, if you're watching and you've been using BingX, I highly recommend that exchange. They're working with Cornix right now to get that affiliation so we can have our trades automatically followed through there, which does imply that our US members are going to be able to have that benefit. So that's really nice. Anyways, just something to think about. I hope you learned something here today. This is really all we have so far. I'm going to keep a close eye on this. I'm considering, once again, a long position somewhere in the 1.4 to 1.41. I hope you had found benefit. If you do, comment below, like, subscribe, follow the whole 9 yards. Join us over on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. And obviously, make sure that you use my link to register for BingX, because you do get a chance to essentially get some USDT and, of course, an iPhone. All right, all that's down below. Thanks again so much for watching. Hope you have a good rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.